In this video, I'm going to give you a really simple framework to build a marketing strategy, one that gives it clarity and one that ensures that you know exactly what you're doing, when you're doing, and how you're delivering your marketing. Hi, I'm Alex Moon. I'm the founder of Moonbeam Marketing Consulting with nearly 15 years experience in the marketing space, predominantly working within small tech businesses here in the UK. And I'm here to show you this framework because I believe it will give you the way to drive your business forward so you can continue to innovate, so you can continue to grow, and you can continue doing what you're doing because you are the businesses that support communities, you are the businesses that drive industries forward, you are the ones that create jobs, and I think there's a need to support small businesses with their marketing efforts. So I want you to take a look at this framework. I call it the Compass Marketing Framework, and it's something that will give you true clarity. Before I get into that, I want to talk about what I normally see with small business marketing. There are a lot of assumptions that you need to be on specific platforms and doing specific actions in order for your marketing to have success. There's a lot of talk around AI at the moment, and there's a lot of confusion, and there's a lot of information going all around the internet. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was susceptible to it. When I took voluntary redundancy from my last role, I set up Moonbeam Marketing Consulting, and I spent 6 months reading, listening, and engaging to nearly every single guru across Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And don't get me wrong, a lot of them are right in what they're saying, but what I had to do was give myself a system. Now, I've used marketing strategy structures throughout my career, SOSTAC, and all kinds of different frameworks, but there was one that was always missing, and this is why Compass came to life. One, to give me clarity, and two, to ensure that I delivered one key component at the beginning of my marketing strategy. So what does Compass stand for? Well, let me break down the high level what Compass stands for, and then what we'll do is I'll break down how you deliver those components. So Compass means cause, it means observation, it means monetization, it means purposeful objectives, it means approach, and then it means sprints and systems. The 7 letters, starting with cause. The cause of your business is the story of your business. It's not about talking about what you do and how you do something, because really that story doesn't connect with people. What this is a story about why your business exists in the world. So you have to start going back to, why did you create this business as a founder? So why did you create? And then there's other questions within that framework, and I'll drop a link for a template for you to ask the questions for yourself below. But really, it's your reason of existence, okay? So your cause is your reason for existence. It is the change that you are looking to make within an industry. It's the change you're looking to make in the world, and what is the resulting impact of your business making that change. Now, I'm not going to say that I created this idea, because I didn't. This is taken from Simon Sinek's Golden Circle, and it's well worth watching the Simon Sinek TED Talk to understand the Golden Circle. But you kind of need to look at it as, this is why our business exists, because that's the thing that resonates and connects with an audience. So the next step is observations, okay? And I think this is a really critical part of a marketing strategy, and it's analyzing the market, it's analyzing nearly everything. And I think that businesses actually forget components when they're building a marketing strategy to really analyze where they are. So in your observation, so what's going on? There's the internal, there's external, and then I like to think of it as forward thinking. So internally, this is the strengths of the business. This is what your business does and delivers, and against the market. It's your team, it's your systems, it's your tools, it's everything that you have in place to help you reach an audience, okay? But what is usually missing is an analysis on the service quality. So does our business deliver what the customer expects, or does it deliver above and beyond what the customer expects? And if you can answer those, there's a framework that you can use, but if you answer the questions that show we deliver above and beyond a customer expectation, then it does suggest that you either are ahead of the market or that you are delivering a great product or service that maybe they didn't expect to see or deliver. So this is a critical component. A lot of businesses and small tech-led businesses are created on an idea. Technology is built without real assumption of what the market is looking for or what the market needs. Now, don't get me wrong, Henry Ford said the right thing. If I'd asked people what they wanted, they'd have said they wanted a faster horse, and he invented the combustion engine to build the first car. So there is an argument that when you create a technology or you create a solution, that you are pushing the boundaries of what's needed and required. But there is a level of understanding of what a customer expects from the majority of services that they're looking for to impact their day-to-day lives and business. If you're talking about something completely revolutionary, right, that's a mindset change, and that's a completely different consideration when it comes to marketing. The next part of this is external. So this is understanding the market that you're in, the size of the market, who are the big players, what are they doing well, where are they showing up, where are they not showing up. And I think this is the critical component. I've spoken to a lot of small businesses in my career, and there is a massive assumption that they need to be on LinkedIn because they believe that that's where professionals go to get content. And of course, yes, they are on it on their workday. It's probably the most allowable social media platform to have in the workday. If you put it on your laptop, no one's going to go, do you know what? You're not working, you're on social media. Because if you're in a commercial function, you go, well, I'm looking at ideas, I'm reading news, I'm trying to prospect within a platform that allows me to prospect. So LinkedIn isn't one that people really frown upon if you have it open on your screen. But you have to start thinking about what is the customer doing when they wake up? What are they doing when they're commuting? So do they get up in the morning, or do they check their email first? Do they check Instagram or TikTok first? Where are they? If your rivals aren't there, that gives you an open opportunity to start communicating and meeting people where they are. Your buyers are probably spending more time on Instagram or TikTok than you like to think, even as a professional service technology business. And so you want to deliver content on a medium where they want to receive that content. You want to deliver content on a platform that they want to receive content on in a medium that they wish to do. Now, the main thing I would say with all of this, and we'll get into it in detail when it comes to sprints, but pick one and go and win on that platform. That's my key bit of advice. Forward thinking, that's trend analysis and projection analysis. So where is the market going? So in marketing, the market now is going towards AI. How can I use AI to improve my content creation? How can I use AI to optimize X, Y, or Z? AI is a tool, but it will never replace humans, right? And a lot of marketing needs to be done by humans, and connection and connectivity. And actually, the more automation and the more technology we introduce into marketing, the less personal it feels and the less engaging it becomes over time. So I'm an advocate, a big advocate for using AI as a tool, but I'm a bigger advocate for using people within your business. Because actually, if you look at the 7P model of marketing framework, P, one of them is people. And a lot of businesses miss that because they often think 4P, product, price, place, promotion, or if you look at 7P, people is in there. And that's really important. So understand where the market's going and project where things could go. So analyze the gaps of where things could go, because that could give you an opportunity to create a business. Now, other observations when you're looking at forward thinking and you're looking at external, this is where you can discuss with potential customers or existing customers, what is it that they are dying need? And I'll give you a good example. When I run a training business for a professional body in the UK, I spent a lot of time talking to one specific organisation because they became my largest client and understanding their pain points. Now, once I'd understood that this was my biggest opportunity for growth, because typically the marketing was aimed at the people that would take training courses, and actually what the pivot was going to talk to HR leaders within specific organisations and infrastructure companies that would adopt and use our training. They would put more people onto the course, so they became the target or the ICP for me in that particular business. That's how I started to turn a business that was losing money, lost 10k in 1 year, and turned it around to a £50,000 profit the following, because I observed what was going on, who was making the purchase, and how could I then leverage that to move or do more with different organisations with similar kinds of people and create that ICP. And what I observed and what I discussed and understood from them was they had a big issue with transferring information and knowledge from senior people who were looking to retire in the next few years onto junior member of staffs. And that led to the creation of a totally new course that we did. Instead of being one of the 10 online courses, became a physical course that we delivered around the United Kingdom to these kinds of organisations, and sold more senior people who need to pass on information to people. And it became one of the cornerstones to why that business was so successful, so much so that different departments wanted to have it under their wing and support it. So that's just how observations had allowed me to impact what we were doing marketing and commercially for the business to help it grow. The next one is monetization. So monetization here, offers. So offers. So what are offers? So this isn't about this is the product and this is the price. It's how do you stack the value within the product, okay? So if I were to look at a business that I've been in conversations with, they might say, well, what we do is we help companies build the infrastructure to do contracts, issue invoices, chase invoices for payment before debt arises, and ensure that you are, as a small business, paid on time. That's what they would do as a product offering, and they might package as this is the product, this is what it does. What we do is we talk about the value of the offer. So we build you a contract framework and we issue contracts to every single customer that you onboard. Now, what's the cost to that? What's the staffing cost that a business would need for that level of support. Now that might be one person's job for a day or two, so we could say it could equate to £200 to £500 maybe for the business in cost, which ultimately as a small business owner, that is their time that they're doing it. The second one is we will create the invoices and send them out for you. So upon contract signature, they'll issue the invoice, they'll send the invoice to the client. Again, if you look at the way in which a business would do this, they would go to their bookkeeper or their accountant who would raise the invoice and send it out off to that business. Again, there's a cost to that business. And if you're a specific type of business, you probably don't have those people just able to do that for you. So again, it becomes your responsibility to do administrative work. Again, that's a cost of what a person would cost. So you could argue that's another £200 to £500 in terms of offer. The next one is that they chase down the invoice. They remind the invoice ahead of time to say that there's 5 days, 3 days, 2 days, your payment is due. So they're already escalating to the receiver of the invoice that a payment needs to be made. Okay? And that again would be someone's task, and that could be an hour every other day sporadically chasing down invoices depending on how many contracts they have. So that could be a significant investment. So again, add a value to that. So that value would be £200, £300, £400, £500, £600 over the course of the month. So now you're looking at something that's cost £1,600 to a business. And then they chase debt if it becomes debt. So they'll pick up the phone and they'll start chasing, saying it's overdue and it needs to be paid. So that's a cost. You would go to an external organisation if debt became really bad to chase that down, and they take a percentage of what they recoup back. Well, again, that's a cost that you can attach a value to, and you can say that's £1,500 value to a business. So overall, this service, this product value, this offer is worth £3,000, but I'm going to give it to you for X pounds, 500, 750, 1,000, so I can save you 2/3 of the cost, remove all of the administration and hours that it would take you to do it, because we will handle that process for you, so you can do what you're good at, which is X, Y, or Z. And that gives you peace of mind. So that's how we would raise an offer. It's not just talking about, here's the product, here's the cost, you should buy it. It's, no, here's the value of what we're offering you, and this is what we're charging you if you were to accept our offer. The next one that dawned on me when I was speaking to a former colleague, this is purposeful objectives. So what are purposeful objectives? Well, they're objectives aligned to goals. So a lot of marketing objectives tend to be around how they're going to grow social media, how they're going to improve email open rates, so on and so forth. So they could look quite vain, but actually, what does that objective look like against the goal of the business? So you have to start with goal. If the goal is, we want to grow our market share from 1% to 2% by the end of this year. One, that's a smart goal, okay, because it's quite specific, it's measurable, and it's time bound to it, right? It's also realistic and attainable. So you could go, this is our goal. Our business goal is to get to 2% from 1% of the market share. So what are then the objectives of marketing to do that? What are the key performance indicators to do that? So if my social media following is at 1,000 and I already have 1%, I might say I'm going to increase my social media following to 2,000, because if I can get 1% of the market with 1,000, it stands to reason if my content's good enough and I get 2,000, I can turn them into customers that gets me to the 2%. So I'm going to make a concerted effort in my marketing to ensure that I'm building content that's going to drive to more people following my business. But instead of just saying we're going to grow our following to 2,000 by end of the year, we're going to grow our following by 2,000 to the end of the year so that we can get X percentage more traffic to the website, and therefore this many more opportunities of sale and pushing people through our funnels, which will be part of our systems. The purposeful objective also, and the goals also will align to where you are on your cause. So your purposeful objective should align to your cause. So your purposeful objective should align to your cause. And what do I mean by that? So if you already say that you want to make a change in your industry, you want to innovate to do this, that, or the other, so that it makes this impact. If you say, well, if we got to 2% of the market and therefore we're helping 50% more or 100% more businesses do this better, which ultimately has an impact to the business, your goals, your objectives align to your cause, and it's all kind of correlating to the way in which your business flows, because the cause becomes the way in which you make decisions as a business, the way you act and interact as a business. Now, the other area that I think needs to be looked at, approach. So what do I mean by approach? So again, the approach aligns to your cause. Okay? Because your approach is your strategic guiding principle. So if you say that your strategic guiding principle is aligned to the cause, okay, we're going to make this change in the industry. We're going to elevate the standards of X, Y, Z. We're going to change this, that, or the other so that this happens in the world, or so on and so forth. then that helps you derive of the way in which you're going to go to market. But it also, the approach aligns into the objectives, the goal. So I already said, if I say I can get to from 1K to 2K followers will give me from 1% of the market to 2% of the market, then I already know that I need to go focus on an approach of going, well, I'm going to improve my Instagram campaigns. Okay? And that would be a way of saying, okay, so that approach has really impacted that overall purposeful objective aligned to this goal, and therefore I'm going to hit my why, and I'm going to help my business have this level of performance. And final two, sprints and systems, and I do this in tandem. Okay, so sprints are campaigns, and campaigns can be your social media content. So it can be social media. It could be a webinar. It could be an event. It doesn't matter really what a sprint you pick. Okay? Pick one, pick it well. So if you're going to make social a focus, I would say to you, much like you would hear from people like Alex Hormozi, 100 days consistently putting content out on social media will help you drive the algorithm to get you more followers, which will help you hit your objective, which will help you hit your goals, and therefore allow you to align to your purpose, your cause of your business. But 100 days focused, because you'll learn what's working and what's not working, and you just need to do things on repeat. Like, this is the first long form YouTube video I'm doing on a camera, and I don't think it's going to be great, but if you're still here watching, thank you very much. So focus on one and focus on doing it really well. Don't focus on going, well, can I create ads? Can I create this? Can I create that? Because you don't want to spend a lot of money as a small business straight away. Because if you try and do too much, it will cost you too much and you'll think marketing doesn't work. And that's not the case. There's a reason that Facebook ads work and have worked for other businesses, because businesses do them often, regularly, and they spend enough money for the algorithm to work so they can make more money to put more into ads, because it does work. It's just what's usually missing. So ads is a good one to dovetail in. The systems. So the systems, this is what underpins it. So is it your funnel system? And a good one here is to look at Perspective. I'll put a link in the description below. But Perspective is a great application to build a funnel with, because it's mobile optimized where most traffic comes from. So if you run ads to high value content or booking calendars or whatever it may be, use Perspective, go try it out. I'll give you a 30-day free trial if you click the link in the description below. So take a look at that. The other thing that it could be is your CRM. So this is where you would obviously manage your contacts. But another one, reporting. Where and how are you getting data and how are you looking at it? Okay, so this could be something like Looker Studio integrated with Supermetrics as an example. So the systems underpin the sprints, because if you have robust systems if you don't have robust systems, so let's say you run ads on social media and you drive them all to the homepage of the website, well, the likelihood is you're not going to convert very well. If you drive them to a non-optimized web page, you're not going to convert very well. If you're not talking to them as they wish to be spoken to, or talking about the pain, or talking to them in a humanized way, you won't complicate it, you're not going to convert them. So you need a system in place that allows you to take the action that you need to take. And so this is where advertising can work as a sprint, but it has to be aligned to the system that underpins it. And that will allow you to create all sorts of different advertisements. It will allow you to create all kinds of different offers and ads to win business or close out business. But ultimately, the ads underpin or are underpinned by the system that you give it or that you have. Your website is part of the system. Sprint might be SEO. And again, you need a system for your SEO, a structure or process of doing that. So what are the tools you're going to use to give you the reports? What's the tools that are going to give you the insights? How do you then create the content? So these are things that I believe are typically overlooked by businesses when they're starting out their marketing. All in all, these 7 things together create the Compass framework. And I hope that kind of breaks down what it is. And I hope that if you do adopt the Compass framework, it helps your business. And if you're struggling, please just reach out to me on social media via DM. I'd be more than happy to give 30 minutes of my time to say this is how you can leverage the system to help your business grow. I wish every small business the ability to innovate and grow so they can continue to change the world, because they are the businesses that do that. I've been Alex Moon. I appreciate you if you've watched this far, and thank you very much and have a great day.